Hello, I am Anthonological. I've been gone for a little while and you might be wondering why. Part of the reason is I've been playing the Destiny beta and composing this review on it. First off, I want to say that Destiny will be a brilliant game if Bungie keeps up the good work. The beta on its own has satisfied and impressed me more than enough. I'm glad I pre-ordered it because it has been a great experience. I would nominate this for Game of the Year for sure, and this is just the beta. The final build is a long way from now and it's going to be much bigger and far more complete. I'm certain it's going to be worth its price.
Sir, here is a check with my name on it. Write down any number on this piece of paper and I will pay it.
For everyone who just wanted my opinion or quality assurance, you've got it. The game is amazing. You can go. For those who want specifics, keep watching. Let's start with the graphics. The game runs at 1080p on the PS4 and run at 1080p on the Xbox One in the final build. The game runs at 720p on the PS3. I don't know about the Xbox 360. If I can find the resolution, I'll post it in the description. I've watched a graphics comparison for all of them. They all look amazing, and I can really see that Bungie has put quite a bit of effort into making the experience the same for all players. The game runs at a solid 30 frames per second on all the consoles. As unfortunate as this is, I'm sure there's a good reason for it. The only difference between each of the consoles is the lighting. Everything else looks pretty similar to me. I can assure you, no matter which console you play this on, you're going to have the same experience. However, is that going to be a good experience? Let's talk about that. The gameplay is very Halo-esque, as you might expect. The animations are similar, the gunfighting is similar, the enemy behaviors are similar, and so on. The scout rifle even fires almost exactly like the DMR from Halo Reach.
They're both coming at me right now.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Up top, up top.
Let me go for it. This one
Oh
over
shit,
here.
teammates behind us. There's teammates behind us.
Got him.
The auto rifle and pulse rifles also behave quite like their Halo counterparts, but not as closely as the scout rifle does, in my opinion. The vehicles also mimic Halos to a point. The pikes are like weak ghosts, and the interceptors are like strong wraiths. The sparrows aren't like anything in Halo, but they look like something out of Star Wars. Two big differences in gameplay from Halo are the open world and RPG aspects of the game, and the more slow playing multiplayer. The maps just don't seem to have the verticality or complexity of the maps you had in Halo. There also seems to be no sign of a theater mode, Forge, or custom games, but I have found, what looks like a placeholder for a button in the destination menu right next to the Crucible button, which looks like it might serve that function. But I can't find any confirmation on whether any of those things are going to be in the game, or if that button serves any purpose. It would be a huge step back if Bungie decided not to put in theater mode or custom games in. The game isn't all Halo though. The gameplay does differ and innovate in its own nice ways. The player can collect and store weapons and switch them at any time, and upgrade and customize their character. Unfortunately, the storing weapons thing means you can no longer pick up weapons off the ground, which is something about Halo that really appealed to me. I always loved looking around for a more powerful weapon, and was never worried that I wouldn't be able to kill something once I ran out of ammo, because I could just pick up a new one. This is a big problem in multiplayer, because you often find yourself with no ammo for your sidearm at the worst possible times. At least you can collect really cool tricked out weapons for doing, certain things, or looking for special chests and so on, which is a bit of a consolation. Another annoying thing is the new grenade system. You now have one grenade at a time, and once you throw it, you have to wait about 30 seconds to get a new one. There are abilities that help decrease this cooldown time, but cooldown times aren't cool in my opinion. I'd rather pick up multiple grenades from the ground. One new thing that is good is the concept of carrying a third weapon, either a light machine gun or a rocket launcher that looks just like a Spartan laser, that you have to find ammo for on the battlefield. These weapons are particularly powerful to justify searching around for their ammo. Also quite interesting is the supercharge abilities. These are unique skills for each player class that charge as the player gets points or does things in general as well over time. When the bar fills, the player can press R1 and L1 together and use their ability. The abilities are quite fun to use, but very cheap if not overpowered in multiplayer. My Golden Gun ability and the Titan's Fist of Havoc allow players to simply dodge any nasty situation without much thought or effort. And the Warlock's Nova Bomb is what happens when the Power Drain and Bubble Shield from Halo 3 have an evil baby. It's a super grenade that slows gameplay and gets easy kills. The Warlock can also clear objectives and get incredibly cheap kills with it too. None of the supers are necessarily overpowered, but they can get annoying, especially the Nova Bomb. If anything is overpowered, it would be the Interceptor vehicle. The thing kills in 1 or 2 hits and is a total bullet sponge, even against a vehicle. But it's not really fair to beat up Bungie over balancing at this moment. It's only a beta and it doesn't necessarily represent the final product, but I guess it's better to complain now than it is after the game ships, isn't it? The RPG elements in this game aren't too well thought out. The weapons and armor remind me of the problems Borderlands had. You pick up too many weak weapons and can't get rid of them very easily. In Borderlands you could sell them, drop them, not pick them up in the first place, or give them up to somebody else. In this game you pick up everything you stand on and you have to put it in a vault or dismantle it. I really wish that Bungie had a trading system further down the line. Dismantling an item takes a few seconds in case you change your mind, but this gets boring really quickly and pisses me off. Oh well, better to have it and not need it than not have it and need it badly, right? While the armor and weapons get on my nerves, it leaves the door open for really powerful weapons like this one. Bad Juju, that leave you with a sense of accomplishment once you get them. In Halo every BR was the same, but in Destiny there are crap scout rifles, and then there's Bad Juju. Over time you upgrade your character and level up in certain areas. This unlocks new abilities and allows you more and more privileges over time. For example, one ability obtained quite early on is the ability to double jump. As for the campaign, the game is done in little bite-sized missions, with an occasional strike level, and an open exploration map filled with side quests and random public events. As for the story, we don't see much. We get half a first act, but not much else. Of course, our character has been dead and has amnesia for some reason, it seems. Because of this, we jump straight into meeting other characters and arguably into our second act. The first character we meet is Ghost. He is voiced by Peter Dinklage, and as a result, he's been named Dinklebot by the fans. He's a floating eye with a laser and a bit of a pretentious attitude. He has a sense of urgency, trying to keep you moving forward, and makes the occasional joke or slightly more common, sarcastic comment. That's not like any other Bungie villain we've seen before at all.
You are the child of my makers, inheritor of all they left behind. You are Forerunner. But this ring...
Exactly. Nothing like any villain we've seen before. Totally trustworthy. Next up is the Speaker, a guy with a creepy horror movie style mask who's sort of your boss. He runs the tower and seems to speak for the Traveler, a celestial-sized object that hovers over Earth. Apparently it speaks through this guy. He also sounds sort of like Patrick Stewart, but he's not voiced by Patrick Stewart, so it's a little disappointing. Obviously the protagonist has no personality or backstory, sort of like Halo Trilogy Master Chief, but just like Noble 6 from Halo Reach. Though there is one more character, an unnamed masked man that seems to follow the protagonist. He's seen at the beginning of the game and on the moon mission. I can't find a name or any information on him though, so I guess even the blank slate RPG protagonist is more interesting. I won't explain the story, it's very basic. We've only got half a first act and a cliffhanger, and besides, I don't want to leave spoilers for people that don't like spoilers. Now, design-wise, the game looks amazing. Not just because of the graphics, the game is beautiful as well. It looks a lot like Halo Reach, but it's not quite as unrealistically colourful. The game shows the post-apocalyptic decay of human society very well in the rusted, overgrown area called Old Russia, and the abandoned empty moon colonies. The very beautiful tower and tropical Venus also look absolutely amazing. They all look great and give an amazing atmosphere and mood. The sound is decent too, but it's not particularly great or amazing like the visuals. The game design is pretty good, the linear levels flow well, and the open areas feel open and allow you to go in multiple directions and encourage exploration. Loot is well hidden and makes you feel smart for spotting it. It isn't like Borderlands where it's a fundamental part of the gameplay that gets boring. It's actually a reward worth the effort. The attention to detail is wonderful. The tower has lots of fun things to do. You can sit in the tree, play with the beach ball. There's also a soccer ball, but I can't find it. There are a plethora of vendors to go to seek armor and weapons, as well as emblems, vehicles, spaceships, and more. Bungie has even been gracious enough to add a feature that allows the player to point, wave, sit, or dance at any time using the directional buttons. This system has been criticized for not having more practical uses, but come on, you can dance! This has led to some pretty funny animated GIFs being thrown around on the Destiny subreddit, from people dancing to dodge bullets, to using the dance to keep the soccer ball in the air. On to random thoughts and nitpicking. First off, one of my favourite things to do in this game is sit on the edge of things. It makes my character look like he has great lower body strength. It's quite funny when you sit off of the edge of the tower. In any case, this also means there are some problems with collision. I find myself trying to jump over things only to bounce backwards and things like that. Another thing, this game is pretty scientifically inaccurate, even for a space opera. It bugs me that the moon has clouds while you can see Venus's surface from space. It bugs me that the Earth looks way too big when you're on the moon and goes completely dark sometimes. I never knew lunar eclipses occurred that often. Also, Venus, as I mentioned earlier, is the tropical swampland people thought it was until people like Carl Sagan came along. Well, I suppose it's possible Venus was fully terraformed by the time Destiny takes place. It just seems odd that Venus is a giant rainforest rather than a volcanic wasteland or something. Maybe this will be explained fully later. Finally, the Traveler is massive. It's nothing short of a miracle that it doesn't fall and kill everyone, or make Earth's orbit crazier than a wacky, waving, inflatable, arm-flailing tube man. Oh well. At least it's nowhere near as bad as I've heard the film Lucy is. And it is a space opera, so it's acceptable, however annoying. Anyway, that's all I could think of worth talking about on Destiny. Watch this clip of me and a friend of mine dancing. But before I go, expect to see the full multiplayer games I've recorded posted on my channel in the future. And to the fans of my science stuff, I'm going to have another go at doing natural history lectures. Those in Creationist of the Week will return shortly. Have a good one.
Turn down for what?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Turn down for what?